Imagine a somber night, 3 in the morning, and the president of the Maldives insists on making a call. Tired yet immensely grateful, Gayoom reaches out to Rajiv through a satellite phone. Rajiv, the man who hadn't slept that night, was waiting for this call. A meeting had been arranged between Rajiv and Gayoom in Delhi, but due to unavoidable circumstances, it had been postponed. This information hadn't reached their opposition. Seated in Sri Lanka, Gayoom's adversary, a billionaire, had planned to overthrow the government. Deals were set with the Sri Lankan cheetahs. If Gayoom had been in Delhi, an attack would have occurred in Mail. The mercenaries descended on Mail from a hijacked ship. Many had already infiltrated Mail, disguised in plain clothes. The attack happened on the night of November 4, 1988. A small city, if one were to seize half a dozen buildings like the airport, telephone exchange, secretariat, power would be theirs. The mercenaries had taken control. But they also had to capture the president. He wasn't in his palace. On hearing of the attack, he had gone into hiding. From his hiding place he called for help from America, but help from Diego Garcia would have taken days. He sought help from Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Pakistan excused itself due to lack of ability, and Sri Lanka didn't want to tangle with the cheetahs, so he asked Britain for help. Thatcher advised, ask for help from India. Rajiv was in Kolkata when the news reached him. A joint meeting of the Defense and Foreign Ministry was called. Rajiv went straight to the airport. A joint operation of the Army, Navy, and Air Force was decided upon. The name, Operation Cactus. Many plans were made and many fell apart. Paratroopers were considered, but Mail was so small most soldiers would have landed in the sea. Then a daring plan was formulated. By evening, a heavy aircraft from Agra took off for Mail with soldiers, equipment, and jeeps. It landed directly at Hulhula Airport. Landing in pitch darkness was a gamble. Immediately the soldiers and jeeps dispersed. The airport was captured after a little resistance. By then more aircraft had landed. Within a few hours the bodies of the rebels were scattered in Mal. The game was over. The Indian ambassador in Mail met with Gayoom, who was hiding in a safe house. He was informed that the rebellion had been crushed. He was safe. Only 16 hours had passed since Gayoom had pleaded for Rajiv's help. Overwhelmed by the quick assistance, a tired yet immensely grateful Gayoom told the ambassador, "I want to speak to Prime Minister Rajiv." After this, the Maldives became a strategic asset for India. The military base created there in the Indian Ocean kept us informed for 3 decades, until we fit a fool who displays his bravado by announcing his plans to attack at home on national television, who peeks into others' bathrooms, who boasts of his role in others' freedom struggles, who resorts to petty blackmail by imposing blockades on neighbors, into Rajiv's shoes. 10 years ago, at the inauguration of the person in whose celebrations leaders of all SAARC nations had queued up to shake hands, a new hope had spread not just in India but the entire subcontinent. Everyone thought something big was about to happen. 10 years later, there's only disappointment. The King of Hopes has proven to be a jester. Though he may have won applause from his petty followers by sacrificing his high office's dignity, the nation's prestige, its strategic interests, its dignity has been mortally wounded. Today, not only Pakistan but Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bhutan too have thrown themselves into China's lap. The latest addition to this list is the Maldives. The Indian base in Mail has been evacuated, and our charming king sitting in Lakshadweep is taunting the Maldives. His supporters are selling his patriotism of making Lakshadweep a better tourist destination than the Maldives. It's outrageous. In these times I often remember Rajiv. His dignity, his seriousness is missed. I wish, if this person had lived for 10 more years, every major power in the world would have dialed Delhi and said, "I want to talk to Rajiv."